I'm going to open 3 packs. Instead of doing a sealed experiment, I'm going to go through them and actually take my time. I just did it for 3 others, in which I pulled an Ashiok and I pulled a Thoughtseize out of my Fab Pack. So right now I'm really doing awesome with this set. I've actually pulled the 2 cards that I really wanted to pull. I wanted to pull a Thoughtseize, check. I wanted to pull an Ashiok, and even though it belongs in another group of packs, I want to show it to you guys. There it is. Hello, Ashiok. Welcome to my Mountain of Magic cards. Um, so that was really, really nice. I'm very happy about that pull. And to all those who counsel me on, buying singles, well, I like opening packs. That is my affliction. So let's see if we have any goodies in here. And I'm going to take my time with these cards because I'd like to talk about the set, how I'm seeing it, and how I'm planning to play it. Incredibly enough, I'm planning to make a bunch of vanilla creature decks. So I think I'm going to try the 3-pack side by side again like I did in the last video. There we go. And hopefully I won't blow the autofocus with black and green cards. Fleshmad Steed has a disadvantage. It's a 2/2/2, but it's worse than a vanilla creature because when another creature dies, you tap it. Messenger's Speed I really like. It's got Trample and Haste. For 1, you can't beat that. Gat's Willing, another 1-drop. 1-drops are awesome in any flavor or color. Target creature you control gains protection from the color of your choice until end of turn. Scry 1. Nimbus Naiad is the blue nymph 3/2/2, and the enchanted creature gets +2/+2 and has flying if you get to use it for Bestow. Mnemonic Wall, 5-drop 0/4 defender. When it enters the battlefield, you may return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. That's good, even though it's a little heavy. The Great Merchant of Asphodel at 5/4. I think it's a nice card because when it enters the battlefield, each opponent loses X life, where X is your devotion to black, and you gain that much life. So if your devotion to black is like 4 or 5, you're hitting pretty good with this card. So it's not. I think it's a good card. Traveler's Amulet, which is a reprint. I think it was an Innistrad block as well. Let me adjust the light a little. I see that there we go. Yeah, that's a little better. Traveler's Amulet. It's a 1-drop. And when you sacrifice it, you search your library for a basic land, reveal it, and put it into your hand, and shuffle your library. If somebody's messing up with your library too much and you want to give it a good shuffle, Traveler's Amulet is a pretty good card for that. Let's see. Okay, that's better. Actually, I think I'm going to go to 2 packs and then return to the 3rd pack just so I don't mess up the light too much. Yeah, that's good. Akoran Crusader has Heroic. Whenever you cast a spell that targets this card, put a 1/1 red soldier creature token with haste onto the battlefield. That's not so great because you have card disadvantage by using an enchantment. Cavalry Pegasus, your typical flyer, 2/1/1, and when it attacks, each attacking human gains flying until end of turn. The Satire is a 2/1 with Trample. That's not bad. The Triton is a 3/4, and the Heroic here is when you make it Heroic, tap target creature an opponent controls. That creature doesn't untap during its controller's next step, which is I think the +1 in Tamillo, back in Avacyn Restored. Observant Alseid is the white nymph, 3/2/2, and the enchanted creature, if you hit it for Bestow, gets vigilance. Otherwise, this card itself has vigilance. There's another amulet. I haven't pulled this common yet. Scourge Mark. And I love the black cards, but the autofocus does not love the black cards. It's a 2-drop enchantment, enchant creature. When this card enters the battlefield, draw a card. Enchanted creature gets +1/+0. There's a couple of enchantments like this in the set for the different colors. Tassa's Bounty is very heavy, 6-drop, but you get to draw 3 cards, and you mill your opponent for the top 3 cards of his or her library. Good in a small deck, like in Limited with 40. Not that great in Constructed, where your opponent's going to have 60 cards, or 53 after their first draw. Coastline Chimera is a flyer with a white ability. It can block an additional creature, and it's a 4/1/5. Very defensive, almost a wall. Laguna Band Elder is a 3/2/3. When it enters the battlefield, if you control an enchantment, you gain 3 life. Very similar card to one that you would have found in Scarlet of Miradan. And in that block, because it wasn't an enchantment block, it was an artifact block, the card would have probably said if you control an artifact. Actually, it had a bunch of if you control 3 artifacts. I forget what the ability was called. Rage of Perforus is a 5-drop sorcery. It deals 4 damage to target creature. It cannot be regenerated, and you get to scry 1. Scry 1 is alright, but I found in the pre-release if almost everything you have has scry 1, and you already scried, you can't scry 1 twice. You already know what's on top of your library. Unless you moved it, in which case it's beneficial. But if you already do scry 1 and what you see on top of your library is what you want, you're kind of done with scry for a couple of turns, or at least until you draw that card. Then Hunt the Hunter, a very limited card. Target green creature you control gets +2/+2 until end of turn. It fights target green creature an opponent controls. You gotta be hitting the mirror to be able to use it. Priest of Iros is a 1/1 creature for 1 with a white ability. You can sacrifice it and you can destroy target enchantment. Of course, the gods are all indestructible, so you're going to have to destroy some other kind of enchantment. Keepsake Gorgon. Somebody's going to be able to build a nice Gorgon deck, I hope. I love the Gorgons. So this is a 5/2/5 with Death Touch. And if you make it monstrous, you get to put all of 1 +1/+1 counter. I'm not thrilled by that because you got to pay 7 to give this thing a +1/+1 counter. I have no idea why you got to pay 7 for it, but anyway, somebody decided that when they designed this card. And of course, when you make it monstrous, you get to destroy a non-Gorgon creature an opponent controls. Very heavy pay for that. Fade into Antiquity. Actually, we already hit the uncommon, so let me do the comments on this baby right here. Okay, so we already did the Chimera, I think, if I remember correctly. Fleet Feather Sandals is a 2-drop. Enchanted creature has flying and haste, and you equip it for 2. That's not terrible. Upperline Unicorn is a 3/1/2 artifact creature, and if you tap it, you add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. I think that's useful. Ray of Dissolution in an enchantment block, you get to destroy target enchantment. That can be bad, even if it's for 3 and you gain 3 life. The Triton in blue has Heroic, a 3/1/4, close to a wall, and it taps target creature an opponent controls, and that creature doesn't untap during its controller's untap step. I think I already talked about this one earlier. Yeah, I even said it was the +1 in Tamiyo. Benthic Giant is a 6-drop 4/5 hexproof. Could be useful for casual. The Satire, you tap it and it's untap target land, which is just like Arbor Elf, but 1 more, so it's a 2/1/2. I think Arbor Elf is a 1/1/1. Fading into Antiquity is really like Naturalize, which is I think a 2-drop, but this one's a 3-drop, and you get to exile target artifact or enchantment. The Nymph in red is a 3/2/2, and the benefit is that it gives +2/+2 and first strike. There's 2 cards that say returned. This is one of them. Return Centaur. And when it enters the battlefield, target player puts the top 4 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. A lot of cards in Dark Ascension were like this. they're all right, but I mean, you're tapping 4 at a time. I mean, if you're milling 4 at a time, that's awfully slow. Rescue from the Underworld, an absolutely amazing, gorgeous card. 5-drop, and you basically get to rescue it and some other card from your graveyard, and then you play them later at the beginning of your next upkeep. That can be bad. It's a 5-drop, but I'm sure it could be interesting. I love black, so I'm probably going to play it. Perforous Emissary. It's an Ox with Besto, and it's a 4/3/3, and it cannot be blocked except by 2 or more creatures, and the enchanted creature gets +3/+3, and also cannot be blocked by 2 or more creatures if you make it an enchantment. Cut through maneuver. There's one of these cards in each color. Of course, they help heroic, and black doesn't have heroic. But in this case, you get to up to 2 target creatures can get +1/+1 and gain lifelink until end of turn. So this card will really shine in a deck that has another color besides black, because you won't be able to trigger any of your heroics. Destructive Revelry is a green-blue, I'm sorry, and you can destroy target artifact or enchantment, and it deals 2 damage to that permanent's controller. That's pretty good. I like that. Artisan's Sorrow, again, another type of naturalizers, 2 naturalizers in this set, both heavy. One overcosted by 1, the one that I just mentioned, and this one also overcosted by 2, and uncommon. But you get to Scry 2, and I really like that. I think Scry 2 is a lot better than Scry 1. Shipwreck Singer, very beautiful artwork, and also very interesting card. So if you hit it with 1 blue, target creature an opponent controls attacks its turn of able. If you hit it with 1 black and you tap it, attacking creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn. And the rare is the Charlatan, which is a very interesting card. 3/2/3. The controller of target artifact or sorcery spell copies it. That player may choose new targets for the copy. That's pretty good. And I don't think we have a foil in here. And then I had 2 uncommons here. And then this is the rare for that. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Psychic Intrusion is a 5-drop rare. It's got a very long wall of text, typical of junk rares. Target opponent reveals his or her hand. You choose a non-land card from that player's graveyard or hand and exile it. You may cast that card for as long as it remains exiled, and you may spend mana as though it were of any color to cast this spell. Of course, that's really, which is a very common thing in Magic sets, is they'll make a card that has an ability that's in one of the Planeswalkers, and I think that's what they did here. That's a little cameo for my friend Ashiok. Nylea's Emissary. It's a 4-drop 3/3 with Besto, and it's got Trample, and it gives +3/+3 and Trample if it gets the Besto and you play it as an artifact. I'm sorry, as an enchantment. Polis Crusher. I really like this card because it's got protection from enchantments. That's really nice. It's kind of like Milera in the Infect world, where Milera was in New Phyrexia, I think it was, and it had protection from Infect, which is great in an Infect environment. It's got a bunch of other goodies like Monstrosity. And here we have a foil common, Minotaur, and so we'll leave it at that. There you go. And I blew the autofocus.